But I got a little overexcited about meeting the WHAM Manager for Cameron Mackintosh Ltd for this Insider podcast. But no, there will be no wake me up before you go, but there will be fascinating tales aplenty from our guest. I'm Billy Differ, and I'm delighted to welcome to the DMT Insider podcast, Kirsty Lamb. Welcome.
Hello.
Let's just get straight into your job title, Kirsty. What does that mean? WHAM.
WHAM. WHAM's a relatively new term. Well, I think it is, but I think I'm a little bit old school on this one. I think it's originally an American term. So it's wigs, hair and makeup. So it covers all bases. I think quite a while ago, it became very apparent, as we all knew, but to other people, it became very apparent that it's not just wigs when we're talking about shows. There's a lot of elements. I would always say anything from the neck up is the best way to think about it. So yeah, that's our whole thing.
I also, what I've come to appreciate is that it's become very much more recognised as a particular department that has a cost base. I was astonished when I discovered the cost of some of those wigs.
Yeah, and especially on a CML show. It is, like, as you all know, the productions are at every level, every department. It's always the best, the highest level, and with that comes the wig departments. Funnily enough, on most of Cameron's shows, actually, they are big, big teams. They're not a small part of the show.
No, and I think that's the thing that people don't realise, that there is such a big input from that area.
Yeah, I mean, Les Mis, Phantom, take those two shows, Phantom in particular. When I was starting in the business, it was always, if you work at Phantom, you could dress any wig in the world with that knowledge from that show alone.
Really?
Yeah, Phantom's the show that you learn your craft. It's an incredible show.
Wow, I hadn't appreciated that. My next question, which I had pre-planned, was, can you describe a typical day for us? But I'm not sure there is such a thing in your world.
Oh yeah, no, I'm the worst person to ask that. Okay, I'll give you.
Give us a few versions.
So because I sort of sit across the board with a lot of things, my job can be anything. So for example, like today, I am actually going to do the physical show at Les Mis after I've been here. But before that, I've just remembered, that's naughty, I've actually got a fitting for the new cast. I've got a new cast member coming in at 12:30. So my day can be anything, and we can be doing photo shoots, media calls, it can be sorting stuff for the arena tour. That's always a real fun bag of logistics.
The one that's going around the world?
Yeah, Singapore currently, so trying to ship wigs out there, depending on the casting.
Of course.
Yeah, that's a non-stop. So every time we have a cast member go into a show, everything that comes with that, I get very friendly with marketing, because we do all the press shots, we do all the media. You have all that as well. So there's always sort of like two parts of the job, and that's not even getting into just the show running, which is a whole different, I mean, the teams are amazing. It's a lot.
It's quite incredulous because, and I think quite rightly, when you sit and watch a show, you shouldn't know all those facts per se. You shouldn't have to appreciate all that to go, wow, that's a great show. Wow, I love the price of that wig. It's not really where you should be going.
That's when it's gone wrong. I always think, if somebody actually comments on a wig in a review, which never normally happens, actually,
that's not
good thing. In the sense of, if somebody's pointing something out, you're like, we've done that wrong.
And back to WHAM, wigs, hair, and
makeup.
That was the one I couldn't quite work out. It was I didn't get and. I thought, is that associate or is that whatever? And makeup. So, do you teach people to do their own?
Yeah. So really, in this day and age, Les Mis is the perfect example. Well, Les Mis actually, the cast don't wear any makeup at all. Let's take Hamilton. That's a good one for this. You have a full ensemble and a full company with probably, 30 cast members, and you have a WHAM team of 4. You physically, everything happens in the half-hour call. So at 5 to 7 every single night.
Boom.
Don't try and speak to anybody in wigs and wardrobe. It's not going to happen. But you physically could not sit every single person down, paint their face, do their wig. It's not possible. So you basically have like makeup charts, you teach them, we provide all the products.
Right, and so they've got something to refer to.
It's like painting by numbers.
Okay, I get it. Give us an example of a really challenging piece of work that you've had to do.
Oh.
Where you've gone, slightly, okay, I'll do it. But, not run of the mill, something that just you were, confronted by, if you like.
Do you know, you're going to hate this answer. I think I've been quite lucky in the sense of everything's always been quite nice. There's things come up that are different in the sense of, old friends. Let's take that as a show.
Uh-huh.
So I was head of Wigs on that show. And when you saw the casting for that, nobody will mind me saying this, that when everybody saw the casting, it was like, this could be something, this could be challenging. Ironically, it's the easiest show I've ever worked on.
No.
Yeah. Speak to anybody who did that show. We had the best time. It was just incredible because you had seasoned professionals who knew what they were doing, knew the score, knew everyone's jobs, and everyone just had the best time.
You knew what you were doing as well.
Yeah, and that actually, I would take that over, a casts are getting bigger and bigger with ensembles and things, and with that comes newer people coming out the industry, so you lose that experience. You lose your mums and dads, is actually the point there. In that, with that is the experience, and also like almost having somebody to guide, whereas that's actually becoming more of a thing, that you're having to, there's a whole shift, and I think everybody will feel this across every industry, that the way we work now is different, and the way we approach things is different. It's maybe not
I think that's universal though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's maybe not quite as cutthroat in the sense of, this is what you do it. There's a softer way to it now. I think that's probably actually more challenging in a lot of ways now.
Yeah. What would you say to anyone wanting to get into the industry? How would they go about that?
Work experience is the biggest thing. I think if you're going back to sort of like training and things, there's so many ways you can do it now with apprenticeships, trainee schemes, which we also run. I went to college, I didn't go to university. I don't have a degree, but there is so many ways to do this. So I came into the industry probably younger, so therefore worked my way through that way. But if people are, graduating or have done the courses, I think going to stage door, putting a CV in, writing a letter, a physical CV in an envelope will definitely get read more than an email that potentially will go into my junk. And that's not anyone's fault.
No,
but it might.
No, that's the reality of it.
And I don't, occasionally you get the little and I know it's this day and age and I'm going to show my age, but you get the Instagram messages. And I'm like, nope, absolutely not. Work's work. And I do think I'm quite strong on that it should be a professionally done thing.
Yeah. Well, I think that's great advice. Take note of those who are aiming to go in that direction.
And be nice. Just be nice.
Just be nice. Well, I think that does apply to most things, actually. I personally don't understand why people think being rude or aggressive is what will get you somewhere.
No.
And you see it all, even just small micro versions of it, getting off the tube, people so the doors open, and I counted this morning, I got off at Piccadilly and I had nowhere to sit or stand, so I got off. But if you don't get the first one off, there's like 10 people in front of you, and they're almost like, it's that elbows thing.
I
and
can't
you think,
bear it.
Calm down, people.
Yeah.
We're talking seconds here.
Yeah.
And that's just a very small example, but I think there is, the world could be a better place.
Manners cost nothing. Whatever you do, manners cost nothing. And I can happily say that every wig team on the shows are polite, nice. It's always been a thing of mine when I used to run teams, when I was heading departments. When we used to be on tour, I used to say to my team, say hello to every single person you see, because you have no idea who those people are, nor should it matter, just be polite, but you are in their space, especially on tour. You're in their house. So therefore,
yes, that's the thing that I think that's such a wise way to put it. You're in their house, because that when people are on tour, that theatre is the only constant they have.
Yeah.
And that's such a great way to put it.
And then suddenly when your wig oven needs wired up, you actually know who you can go to.
Well, there's that too. There's that too.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned earlier about the international arena tour, which is currently in Singapore, I think you said.
Singapore, yep.
And wigs have to be dispatched to Singapore. Do you sometimes have to go with them?
I have had a few little trips. It has been fantastic.
Go on, tell us a couple.
Well, we were all very fortunate. We got to go to Sydney this time last year. They did we were very well looked after. They did this huge gala performance. Because I think it was the first time the show was back in Australia. I can't remember the exact years, but it had been a
long
while.
time, yes.
And that was incredible. But there is often times that I have to find people to be my wigs mules. So I have to work out who's going out to the arena, whether that's Lorna often gets a little wig slide in. There's been times I've potentially had to ask Thomas to take a little wig out for me.
And that's the producer, Thomas Schoenberg.
You would be amazed at how many times we sit and try and work out logistics of things. Because, you can get things couriered. But we also have this great thing that if you try and send a wig with real hair, you probably will get stopped at the border with it. And it is a real thing. And you think, if that wig gets stuck at customs, we're done.
It shows compromised.
Not often, but we have had to sly wigs off.
Wonderful, wonderful.
It's very glamorous.
Well, there is a bit of glamour there, come on.
No, there is. There's bits of it that are great, but there are bits that it is logistics a lot of the time.
Yeah.
We have many a spreadsheet of, in the world of Les Mis, as you will know, we have many, so Stefan, who is the designer, and just fantastic, we often sit and have these meetings of going, right, so-and-so's on the tour, but so-and-so's coming into like the 40th last year, trying to work out the logistics of physically whose wig was where, and costume would have been the exact same. And it just became an ongoing joke, because we were laughing so much that, okay, let's just hope that wig's there. But yeah.
Because that was a huge undertaking in the sense of the number of people that were going to be appearing.
Yeah, it was
and past performers coming back
Past
as well.
performers coming back. And then what else did we have there? We had people on standby. So not only did we have the 40th anniversary cast, then we had people on standby, but then we also had some extra people on standby for certain dates. So I think we had something like 50 extra wigs in the room. Yeah, that was our whole thing. And trying to find space for 50 extra wigs is it's challenging.
Indeed, it is. What we always want to know is what was the bad thing that happened? What was the that oh my goodness me moment?
At the 40th or just in general?
In general. Oh, it might be the 40th.
We had quite a nice time at the 40th, We had a lovely time in your conference room. I remember that. That was great.
Oh,
do you remember we took over and we had this makeup station. And then certain people, I won't name people, might not have watched Act 2 because they were having quite a nice time up in the makeup room. We had a great time that night.
That's right, you were downstairs in the little Queen's room.
Yeah. I felt bad for your office though. We just took over. It's naughty. I don't know. The one thing that does happen, again, let's touch a lot of wood, if something happens to a wig, so a front of a wig has got lace on it, which is so delicate, again, this comes back to the pricing of these things and why they are so expensive, they can rip very easily. And I actually did have it in a show last year, that one of the wigs ripped mid-show, and it was a matinee day. So luckily the wig was finished with for that show, and I was sat there thinking, right, I've got Act 2 to work out what I'm doing with this.
What's actually going to do?
Yeah, because obviously we don't put other people's wigs on people's heads. So very quickly I'm sat there going, right, well, it's on me. I'm repairing this wig.
And I've got the second act to do it.
Right, and you've got that part, but then you've actually got the longer term of going, right, okay, so now I need to work out when can I get this wig fixed properly, like the time that takes, the logistics of that. Has this person got any holiday coming up? Because that would save my backside right now. That's probably one of the few little moments that you're like, okay, we're going to have to make this work. Yeah.
And you went to college and did your training. What was your first professional theatre job?
We Will Rock You at the Dominion.
We Will Rock You.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, like, that show was, I was so fortunate that somebody took a gamble on me. And that was like, I was fresh out of college, had very little experience, and they were just in a position where the team was really strong. And the show itself is actually a really lovely show to do. And this was way back when. But somebody took a punt, and that was that. And I was very fortunate that way. And I always remember that. I mean, we actually spent yesterday doing interviews for a new assistant at Les Mis. And that's always in the back of my head, that I'm like, well, somebody gave me a chance. Yeah. And you have to kind of be able to see, you know, mainly we're looking for personality. 80% is, are you nice?
Funnily enough, the restaurateur, Jeremy King, who's just reopened Simpsons in the Strand, came and spoke to our managers once, and he said, bring me someone with the right attitude, and I can train them to be a waiter. Yeah. But if someone, the opposite of that is not how it works, because they'll never be right. And you know when you meet.
Yeah, and you've got to think, like, you have to look at it as a brand. Like, nobody can deny Les Mis as a brand. It is. And the show and everything that goes with that, and whether that's DMT staff working, like, you know, front of house, back of house, the show staff, it is all one thing. So if you're a Wigs assistant, you are representing that. And that's representation on the team, on Stefan as a designer, as the associates. You know, you can't
so
think it's not a bigger part.
That cascade, there's Stefan who designs.
So Stefan's our designer, yeah.
But does he physically make as well?
He does make as well.
Okay.
He is
but that's not necessarily the case.
No.
Yeah. And then the next person along that line is...
There's me.
You.
Yeah. And then we have our head of Wigs, Linda, who is phenomenal.
Right.
And then we have a deputy and then assistants.
Right.
So there's quite the...
There's a few layers. Quite a few layers.
But we're very, especially in that building, that team are just phenomenal. They're great.
Well, we're coming towards the end of the interview, and I just want to say I think it's a fascinating world that you're involved in, and it strikes me as whether it was by total design or by, you know, sort of whim that you got into that. No, wham, I should say, not whim.
Whim. I like that. No, that was good. Whim, wham.
It always sounds glamorous, but I think there is a lot of glamour there, but also there's a lot of hard work, and I think that's the thing that you have to appreciate. Yeah. And I love the thing about coming into someone's house. I think that really is quite...
Do you know, because I occasionally pop in to see Hamilton or see the other shows, I'm obviously going into other buildings, and it's something I'm really, really aware of knowing who, like, the head of stage is at the VP, who's stage door at the Gilgit, you know? Like, these are tiny, tiny things. You can't learn everyone's name, because, my gosh, there's a lot of people in the company. But learn the basics, you know? Yeah. Stage door especially, gee whiz.
Oh yeah, stage door, definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Well, Kirsty, it's been really interesting. I hope that we will see you again at some point on stage, giving your edu, well, whatever one of the shows it is.
Behave.
But that is a great kind of insight into your world. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
So thank you for listening to the DMT Insider podcast, and it remains for me to say a huge thank you to our guest Kirsty Lamb for her insider take on Les Mis. If you would like to book tickets for Les Misérables or any Delfont Mackintosh theatre, simply log on to our website. Until next time.